Hey mamas, it's Mama Fox. It's 10 a.m. Central on Wednesday, April 2nd. I can't believe April's here. I hope you're having a great day, a great week. And today is kind of a continuation of last week's live. But if you didn't see last week's, that's okay. You don't have to have seen it yet, but you might like to see it. Last week's live is in the pinned featured post here in the Facebook group, but it's also on YouTube if you'd rather watch it on YouTube. And that also gives you a way that you could share it with a mama friend. Hey ladies, I know, here we go again. I did go get some water, Jenny. Like 3 sips of water. I just went live in our membership group, and I was just getting going talking about toxins and obesogens, and I didn't even get to talk about obesogens yet, but we will talk about it later this month for sure. But we put the lives here in the group that are more topical, because sometimes they're just announcements, I'll be honest. But the topical ones, we try to put them on YouTube so that mamas can share those out to mama friends that might not be in our Facebook group, or that maybe they're not even on Facebook and they don't want to be. And we email that out also so that people can catch it that way. So usually the lives here get onto the Facebook. So last week live is on the YouTube. Last week's live is on the YouTube. It's also in the pinned featured post. But last week I was talking about special ingredients and all the extras and kind of my thoughts and opinions on those a little bit. I've also had a post or two, not kind of recently, just pointing out that whether even if you do bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, you still got to get your diet and lifestyle dialed in. It's not a magic bullet. It's not a magic wand that's going to solve all your problems. And I want to start our video today by saying I'm not against bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I'm not against modern medicine or prescription drugs. Praise the Lord for modern medicine and prescriptions and all the things. I'm not even against special ingredients necessarily. Here is really today what I want to share with you is where I've gone through in my own personal thoughts and feelings, personally and as a coach, when it comes to all these things. And really, this boils down to who am I as a health coach trying to serve and help. I mean, ideally, I think every health coach or just teacher at heart, helper at heart, we want to help everybody, okay? When I used to teach 3rd grade, I wanted to teach everybody, but you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Inevitably, when you teach or coach or share, your messaging resonates and helps a certain segment of people, and those on the outside of that, on the fringes, may or may not get helped quite as much, whether you intended that to happen or not. And so my heart in who I want to serve and talk to specifically is really those mamas who have lost hope, and they're really struggling to have hope of aging well and living vibrantly. And Vibrant Living is the name of my coaching business officially. You don't even really notice it a whole lot, because a lot of times it's, Foxy Over 40 and Foxy Foundations, because I mean, let's be honest, with a last name like Fox, I had to do it. I had to use the Fox, okay? And I jokingly say that's the whole reason I married my husband. It's not, but I had to go with Fox. Of course, it's super fun. But the name of my business is actually Vibrant Living. And to be honest with you, there's been a few times, I've been a health coach for, I think, almost 8 years now. And there's been a few times where I've thought about changing the name of my business to something with Fox in it, or just something a little differently. I have thought about that, and nothing ever sat well with me. Nothing ever clicked. And I always come back to who am I trying to help? What is the focus? And the focus is aging well and living vibrantly. That is the focus. Now, a lot of mamas may say, oh yeah, sign me up. That's what I want. That's what I want to. But there's a little caveat there that goes with that for me personally and professionally. And that is to do so as empowered as possible, as naturally as possible. That doesn't mean there isn't a place for extras or prescriptions, but to do so with as minimal amount of prescription drugs of any sort, to be honest, but to do so with a minimal amount of prescriptions and special ingredients, to do it from a whole foods, more holistic approach. That really is what resonates with me personally, and that's who I really want to talk to. And the reason for that is because I have been a health coach long enough to have seen countless posts and comments here, there, and yonder from mamas who either because of finances or allergies, reactions, could not use special ingredients, or at least couldn't use a lot of them. And I have seen women be so discouraged, overwhelmed, confused, frenzied about special products, special ingredients, extras. And I just want to take that out of the equation for you, if you'll let me. I really want to tell you that truly, in order to age well and live vibrantly and reach your goals, you do not have to use anything extra. The good Lord has provided wonderful foods, whole foods for us. And He has also ordered our bodies with a natural circadian rhythm and a way that it works. Now we muck it up, right? And that's why I'm here to be a health coach and teacher, is to help us unmuck it and to help us kind of, get it back in order and things. But you don't have to have all these extra things. So that's really where all of this stemmed from, is from seeing so many mamas over the years who would get frustrated because they couldn't make certain recipes, because they didn't have access to the special products. They couldn't afford the special products. The special products were out of stock. They didn't like them. They didn't like the result, or they were allergic to them. And it's like, but you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that stuff. And honestly, the good Lord has designed our bodies to do very, very well with whole foods, with foods you can buy at your, like I said last week, your Piggly Wiggly, your Aldi, your corner grocery store, whatever. That is how we're designed, and that's how we're going to work the best. And funnily enough, I remember a mama talking about, believe me, I have a family of 6 when they're all here, and sometimes there's extra people in the house, okay? There's a lot of times. So sometimes I'm feeding 8 to 10 people when everybody's here, okay? I know groceries cost a lot. You are right. Groceries cost a lot. Healthy eating can seem to cost a lot. And it is a balance of, getting food on the table, filling the bellies, and all that. But if you stop and calculate, and we did this a few months ago, and by we, I mean us here, we talked about this. If you stop and calculate how much it costs you to make yourself a well-built protein shake that has everything in it you need for a meal, okay? But then, of course, you got to feed your family, so what are you going to make them? You got to make them food too. You're not saving any money, almost never. Obviously, there are cuts of meat and protein that are cheaper than others, but if you're on a tight budget, I think what you're going to find is that you are going to actually fill up, be satisfied, support your hormones, feed your family, better, more fulfilling, and probably cheaper than if you're using a lot of special products and extras and things like that. Okay. And so really, that is who I'm talking to, is women who maybe feel frustrated or discouraged that they can't use or get special products. Or I've seen, so my neighbor was this way, Melanie. I always point that way, like y'all know. It's always, if I point that way, I'm talking about Melanie. I remember Melanie, no, she's a pretty trim mama. She's a regular exerciser and has been ever since I've known her. Okay. So she's got a lot of good things in place, good habits in place. But I tell you what, she really struggled for a long time trying to make, what will I say? Low carb, baked goods. She's like, this is garbage. And that's her words. She'd be like, this is terrible. And you know, I will say 10 years ago, it was especially terrible. But she is someone who, she loves to bake desserts from scratch, and she'll do scritchy scratch. I mean, scratch. I don't just mean out of the box scratch. And Melanie really struggled with that for a long time. She could not find like recipes or things to use where she could make a proper, dessert. She's not wrong. Although I will say the cookies, where is that? Just a second. I will say though, I've made exactly one recipe out of this cookbook, Dr. Ben Bickman's How Not to Get Sick. And I will say the cookies they're legit. There's chocolate chip cookies in this book. I've made them probably 5-6 times. Now, the chocolate chips make a difference, okay? So you have to find the chocolate chips you like. Those are really good, and even Henry likes them, and Tom. So that's saying something. But she really struggled with that for a long time. And honestly, after several years of wasted ingredients, wasted money, disappointment, tears of disappointment and failure and all the things, I was like, Melanie, you'd be better off just making your homemade regular dessert once a month when you have family dinner and being happy with it. Okay? 80-20. Because really, it was like a lot of wasted money and things like that. And that seems like an odd piece of advice coming from a health coach, but honestly, that is what I have found. And as I've pulled away from specialty products and ingredients, and I don't use those things, I just use whole foods almost all the time, I've really realized, yeah, it's like a lot of us were settling for products or results, and when I say results, like recipe results that were just they're not great. It's not amazing. There can be some, but it's few and far between, in my opinion. When it comes to baked goods, that's just one example. There's other desserts and treats that you can make that are that don't use those things. And one that comes into my head that my daughter requested recently was Trim Healthy Mama's Cheesecake Berry Crunch. That one is yummy. You know why? It doesn't have anything special in it. It's cream cheese, berries, nuts, and some sweetener. And like, I know that is a sweetener, could be considered a special ingredient, but you can buy it even everywhere. So to me, it isn't. Yeah, that was a good one, right? Because it's not got a bunch of unusual things like that in it. But that's just where I'm at with, I want mamas to know that you can have amazing success. I'm going to dare say maybe even better success. I'm going to say it. I think you can have better long-term, satisfactory, joyful success by not worrying about all that extra stuff. Use that money to buy some organic beef, because I know that's expensive, but so are all those powders and potions and all the things. Use that money to maybe up-level your groceries just a little bit. Just a little. Whatever works for you. Use it to buy the organic lettuce instead of the conventional. Because I know lettuce is one of those like dirty dozen, I believe. Which that's where if you are looking to save money, but you want to up-level your groceries, every year, I think it's the environmental Protection Agency, is that right? They put out the current list of Dirty Dozen. And what is it? Clean 15. So if you're really wanting to like, okay, I want to start buying better quality food, check the 2025 list of Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And then you can know where to concentrate your money and where to not worry about it and let it go. Okay. Because it is expensive sometimes to feed a family. It really is. So that's where I'm coming from on that. The other thing that I will share with you that, you know, I don't know. In a year from now, I might change my mind about this. I don't know. But literally in the span of 2 months, basically 2025, roughly, I have had 3 different people message me wanting me to join their, I guess, sales team. That's the best way I can put it. I've had 3 different people contact me from 3 different companies wanting to see if I wanted to sell their product, basically. That's what it would amount to. And I'm not saying that it's not that the products are necessarily not good or a problem, but I've just said no. And it's because I could say yes. One of them, I thought about it. I thought about it for about half a second. One of them, I thought about it. And I could change my mind, but when I looked into the product, it looks like a good product. It's so expensive. Honestly, it's so expensive. And I just was like, who can afford that? It may be so good and helpful. Who is affording that? And I don't want to sign up to promote a product that is really out of the reach of the mamas that I really want to help. And so I could have done it, and I might would have made some affiliate kickbacks, to be honest. I might would have made a few $100s a month. I don't know. But, and it's not that we can't use the money. 3 in college and everybody needs a car. But I'm like, but I don't even use the product myself at this time. And it's so expensive. I don't know why I would. And I'm like, I'm not looking just to make a buck. I'm not. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with earning money to support your family. There's certainly nothing wrong with earning money so that you can give so generously to your church or your favorite organizations or missions. I mean, listen, that some of the people I know that earn, like locally, some of the people I know that earn a lot of money, they also give a lot of that money away to very amazing causes and church and all kinds of things. So there's nothing wrong with someone who is wanting to supplement their income by selling a product they love and they believe in and they use themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And especially if it's a product that can truly help people get healthier. I love that. But for me personally, and as a health coach, I have been an affiliate in the past for a company. And quite frankly, when I resigned my coaching with THM, I also resigned my affiliate relationship. I could have kept it because you don't have to be a coach to have an affiliate relationship with them. But I decided that I wanted to walk away from that. And not because I think their products are bad. It's nothing like that at all. I just really felt like over time that I wanted to drive the message home that you don't have to use extras. You don't have to do that. It's not needed. Is there a place for them? Sure. You can use them, and I don't care if you use them or not. That's totally up to you. It doesn't matter to me. You can use special products. You might enjoy using special products. You might need to use special products. Okay. I get it. I'm not saying that there's anything bad or wrong with them. I just really, from the bottom of my heart, want you to know you don't have to. There is no magic product out there that is going to get you the health and weight loss results that you want for life. There is not. Okay? There just isn't. And I just decided, I was like, well, if I believe that, if that's the message that I want to get across to the ladies I help, then I'm going to walk away from that. Okay? And there, thank you, JJ. And, you know, I still have, actually, Coach Canada is who helps me update my recommended products on my website and my recipes and things like that. And she's going to be working on that next week because it needs updating so badly. And I may still have a few things on there, okay? My husband, like I mentioned last week, I make a protein shake for him most every week. I have used different things for him, and I think we've settled on egg white protein powder as being the one that he prefers. And on the rare occasion I might have a protein shake, that'll be what I use because whey protein is not great for us. I mean, like, we just don't like it that much. So again, I'm not saying I'm never going to use something. I'm not saying you can't use something. I just want you to know you don't have to. There's not a magic thing out there. But I had these 3 different companies reach out to me, and one sells something that is probably great, but gosh, it's so expensive. Wow. The other one sells something that has been around for a while, and it's like, well, I don't think it's needed if you're eating whole foods. If you're eating whole foods and you're eating anti-inflammatory, which is what I teach in my coaching, all my coaching. If you're doing that, I don't think you need this product. And so I don't want to promote something that maybe it's helpful and good to people who eat Doritos all day or whatever the junk is. Like, maybe it does help them, but that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to women who are like ready to make changes for life and support their health and really, you know, get back to whole foods and things like that. So that didn't make sense. And then the third company product that reached out to me to see if I wanted to have an affiliate relationship and promote their product was prescriptions. And I was like, what? You can make affiliate earnings by promoting prescriptions for drugs? I was flabbergasted. Honestly, for Lent, I gave up scrolling Instagram. I still post on there, but I'm not scrolling. I gave up scrolling Instagram for Lent. So I must be missing some stuff. I didn't even know that was a thing. I did not know that I mean, I knew doctors got kickbacks and stuff, and I'm not saying that's good either, but whatever. I knew about that. I knew doctors got kickbacks from drug companies. I didn't know that someone like me, just little old me, I could make affiliate earnings by promoting prescription drugs to you. I'm not going to do that. That one I can tell you, nuh-uh. I was flabbergasted. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I was like, this ought not be a thing. That's my personal opinion. Y'all may disagree. But like, somebody promoting prescription drugs so that they can get affiliate earnings, I don't think that should be a thing. I was flabbergasted. And wow. So I won't be doing that one. I won't. There could be something someday I might do, you know, if it was worth it. And I have a few products on Amazon that I have on my recommended products page on my website. And I don't even do a lot with that. I mean, sometimes we share it, sometimes I don't. I really don't do a whole lot with that. But, you know, if you want to know what I'm using for vitamin D drops, or if you want to know, you know, what stevia I'm using, then, you know, it's there and stuff. But generally, I don't really make a lot. Oh yeah, Debbie. Yeah. I was stunned. And I sat on the email. They emailed me twice. And I was like, because at first I was just going to ignore it. And then, you know, I'm like, well, if I ignore it, they're going to keep emailing me. And I just replied back, no thanks. That's all I said. Because, I mean, I'm not going to, like, what would be the point in me saying anything to these people? But I was just like, I can't believe that. Like, I know that, like, other countries, and maybe this will change in America someday, but I know other countries don't allow prescription drug commercials on TV. We do. But, you know, remember, who remembers cigarette commercials? I'm old enough to remember cigarette commercials, right? And of course, they got rid of those as they needed to. But I'm like, okay, you know, cigarette commercials are terrible. They got rid of those. Maybe they'll get rid of prescription drug commercials. I don't know. It's such a big moneymaker for people. But I'm like, gosh, I think affiliate relationships for drugs, that's like, to me, almost worse than the commercials in a way. Well, it's not worse, but it's like, that's not good either. No, I'm not doing that. And again, I love modern medicine. I'm so thankful for it. Truly thankful for it. Okay. My husband is a cancer survivor, and believe me, we've had our fair share of all kind of modern medicine and things over here. But I just want you to know, you don't have to have it. You don't need it. You don't. Oh, Melanie, yes. Yeah, I think so too. I was just shocked, and I was like, what about my posting on Instagram has made you think that I would even be interested? What? I don't think so. I'm all about real whole foods. And the main thing I want to tell you, because I'm not trying to be hypocritical. I do use special products on occasion. But the difference between now and a year and a half ago, even a year ago, kind of, but definitely a year and a half ago, the difference between now and back then is that they're no longer a staple of my day or week by any means. And I've heard so many women who have gone through who are in my membership, or who have done the Foxy Foundations or the food piece, and they've been set free from so much time in the kitchen. It's funny. I'm cooking more. Hey, Amy, I am cooking more in a way now, kind of, but I'm spending less time in the kitchen. I'm literally spending less time in the kitchen because I'm not having to mix all these powders and concoctions every time I turn around. It's actually saved me a lot of time and money for sure. But you know, that isn't why I did it. And so just to kind of put a bow on this, I didn't stop using a lot of special powders and ingredients and making those kinds of things at first in order to save money. I didn't. Because, you know, part of it was I was gaining weight and I wasn't happy with where I was, and I started diving into, you know, trying to learn about all this stuff. I've talked about all that before, but I initially just wanted to quiet food noise. That's where it all started, kind of, where the rubber met the road. When I started diving into what is GLP-1, what is this hormone, what is this drug? What is going on here? Why are people doing it? Why are people thinking they need it? Why are people talking about food noise? What is all this? Oh, I have food noise too. Oops. Spent my whole life with it. Didn't know that's what that was. And no amount of healthy eating. Lean into this, mamas. Listen. No amount of healthy eating crushed that food noise. It didn't. It didn't crush it. Nothing crushed it until I started getting very serious about building meals that truly supported my hormones and honored them. And that's when everything changed last March. Okay? Believe me, I was choosing healthy foods, and I was certainly using all sorts of special ingredients that were supposed to be helping me. They weren't. Okay, but even if I took away those special ingredients, my food noise was out of control, and it always had been my whole life because I didn't know. And I know some of y'all may not grapple with that, but let me tell you what, when it goes away, for the first time in your life ever after you have been eating healthy and you're a health coach and it goes away and you realize, oh my word, this is amazing. I have my life, my brain, my thoughts, and my day back and my time. Woo! It's amazing, okay? So that's where it kind of all started for sure. But again, it's not that I don't sometimes use some things. It's just no longer what I rely upon at all because I don't need it. And I'm not in the kitchen nearly as much as I used to be, not even remotely. And part of that is because I don't need snacks anymore. I'm not a toddler or a preschooler or a teenager or a pregnant or nursing mama. I don't need a snack because I am now building meals that satisfy me and my hormones. And so I'm not in the kitchen all the time that way either. It is amazing, okay? It is amazing. And once I started experiencing that myself personally last spring, and I started sharing that with my membership mamas and other mamas through that Food Peace workshop and course. Y'all, that was almost a year ago, the Food Peace workshop. It was almost a year ago. And there's been like 1,600 mamas take that Food Peace course now. I'm so excited about that. It's a humble little course. Okay? It's not everything. It doesn't tell you everything you need to do, but it tells you a big piece of this puzzle with your meal building. Okay? Because that's something you can control. You can control your meal building for sure. But once I started doing that and sharing it, it was amazing the difference and the shift that so many of us have made with getting control of our food cravings. And no amount of special products and powders and things could do that because I use them. And it didn't do that at all. Now, moving forward, are there things out there that are touted by various companies and various people? Are there things out there that are special products that are claiming this, that, or the other? Yes, there are, and they might work, could be. But if you could save your hard-earned money and just eat, I don't know, some cucumbers. If you could just eat some cucumbers and some bell pepper strips as you're cooking supper, that's so cheap and so easy and so satisfying. And it's the way the good Lord intended you to get your vegetizer before your meal. So you have that fiber mesh that we talk about in the Food Peace course. I just want you to know you don't have to have anything special if you don't want it. You don't have to spend your money on expensive stuff if you don't have it and if you don't want it. And it's not that hard. It's not that complicated. I want to simplify things for mamas more than anything else. I want to simplify it, bring it down to basics. And above all, I want to empower every single mama that's in this group, this free group, or that's listening to this on YouTube. I want to empower you. You have more control than you might realize. You can control so much when it has to do with your hormones, and yes, your GLP-1 hormones, your ghrelin, if you've heard of ghrelin, your leptin, your cortisol, and your insulin, you can control so much. And next week, when I have a workshop next week, it fits in everybody's budget, okay? Sign up, grab a friend or three, sign them up for this workshop. It fits in everybody's budget, like literally. When I do this workshop next week, we're really going to be diving more into those hunger and satiety hormones. But we can't talk about ghrelin, leptin, and GLP-1 without talking about cortisol and insulin. So we'll be talking about that as well. And many mamas have asked about this upcoming workshop and like, how is it different from Food Peace? If you've done Food Peace or maybe you've bought it and you ain't done it yet, do it, okay? But I will say this. If you've bought the Food Peace course and you haven't done it, you don't have to get it done before next week's workshop. You don't. And if you haven't bought the Food Peace course and you're not going to or whatever, that's okay. You don't have to have bought it or done it for next week's workshop. It is a standalone workshop. And so if you have a mama friend who's interested and maybe they're thinking about taking a prescription, or maybe they're wanting to get off of one, or maybe they're just stuck or confused or overwhelmed, they can come. it really fits in everybody's budget. We're going to talk about those hormones and how it fits together with the food piece, though, with the food piece meal building. In the food piece meal building, I just wanted to, as fast as possible, tell y'all, here's how you build a meal that will set you up for your day. Here's how you build that first meal of the day to set you up in amazing ways. That was the whole point of that humble, simple little workshopping course, okay? It's not every single answer. It's not going to solve every single problem, but it was to show you this is how I've been building my meals and still am. A year later, I'm still building my first meal of the day and really my last meal also that way. And I can't believe the difference, okay? It's given me so much of my life back in so many ways. And I was doing a lot of stuff right before that, I thought, but I wasn't. So that is how to build meals, especially that first and last meal. This workshop next week is really going to go in more of why that's important, what's going on with our hormones, those 5 I mentioned, because those are key. Those are key hormones that will cause us, if they're out of whack, to have the hangries, where you get so hungry, you're irritable and angry and you're moody, or you're thinking about food all the time, or you're never quite satisfied, or food thoughts are occupying your mind and things. We're going to get into what are these hormones, especially like some of those you might not have heard of or heard much about, like ghrelin and leptin. And certainly there's lots of interest, but yet confusion about GLP-1 hormone and all that stuff. We're going to get into what they are, what they do, and what happens when they're working well, but more importantly, what happens when they're out of whack and they're not working well. And then, of course, the most important, what can we do about it? Because what kind of workshop would it be if I didn't give you like some action points and some simple tools that you can use to actually take action and make a positive, hey, Miss Marcy, and take a positive steps forward in getting those things back in alignment. Okay? And so I'm so excited about it. The more I've learned about those hormones, the more amazing they are to me, but also it's exciting because they don't need to be mysterious. They don't need to be just reserved for science geeks. They're things about our bodies we need to know, especially because of the kind of world and environment most of us have grown up in, which has been not great. You know, I know what I ate growing up, and I know what I ate in my early adulthood. And so these are things we need to know about because we can affect change on them. That's the exciting part of the whole thing. If it was just information, what kind of workshop would that be? No, there's going to be tools. There's going to be action steps you can take. And we're going to have fun too. I'll be honest. We will have fun. We will have fun, and seats to my 10-week coaching program this summer, seats will be given away as prizes, okay? So several seats will be given away during the workshop and stuff that's happening next week. So enrollment is open. Y'all go enroll. Like I said, grab some friends because it's really, really cheap. And you do have the option just to do the workshop, or for $7 more, you can get the replays. And what that really means is you're going to get the self-paced lifetime access course for this workshop. And you can keep that forever and go through it as many times as you want. All right. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm not against any special product that I can think of. There's some I don't like as much, but I'm not against any special product. I'm not against you using them. I'm not against bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I'm not against you using it. But the bottom line is many, many mamas can't use it for some reason or another. They can't use that stuff. Maybe they don't want to use that stuff. Maybe they can't get it. Maybe they can't afford it, whatever the reason is. And that is who I want to talk to and tell you, do not lose hope. You don't need to lose hope. The good Lord designed us to eat whole foods and to age gracefully. We can do this. We can age well and live vibrantly. And you don't have to spend tons of money or stress on it. And that's what my message is, mamas. Hey, Miss Brooke. All right, ladies, that's it. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about the workshop or things like that, feel free to post it in the group. And I will just close it with saying, if you want to post questions about special products, you can do that. But it's not something that is a big part. Well, really, it's not a part of my coaching. It's not a part of the meal plans that we use in the Foxy Foundations at all. We just eat food, whole food, simple food. We eat good in Foxy Foundations, real good. So you can ask questions about special products. It's just that here in this particular group, you may not get a lot of discussion on them. There are other groups that focus more on special ingredients and things like that. So you might want to ask those questions there. And again, it doesn't bother me if you do, you just may not get as much response. Okay. All right, mamas, I hope you have a great rest of your day. It was so good to see so many of you. And I hope what I said made sense. And like who I'm really trying to bring hope to. I've just seen too many hopeless, discouraged, overwhelmed, frustrated mamas over the years for various reasons. And I don't want to leave you behind. I don't want to leave you behind. I'm taking you with me. We're aging well. We're living vibrantly together, mamas. Okay, ladies, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.